All right, in example 2 here, again, let's draw ourselves our triangle. So here's angle A, angle B, angle C, 90 degrees. This time they'll tell you angle A is 48 degrees. They tell you side C is 10. So now we're missing 2 sides and we're missing 1 angle. Well, since we're only missing 1 angle and we know they add up to 180, we can find that one very quickly. These two have to add up to 90. So angle B equals 90 minus 48 degrees. So angle B equals, let's get that right this time, that's 42 degrees. Okay? So angle B is 42 degrees. Okay? So now we want to find side A and side B. Okay? So this time we're going to still use trig ratios, but now we're looking for sides. So let's find side A first. Since we are given the angle measurement, we're going to actually know our angle here. So we're going to be taking the sine, the cosine, or the tangent of our angle. You never use the 90-degree angle. You always use one of the acute angles. So I would not use the 42 degrees just in case we subtracted wrong like I did on this problem. So where is side A compared to 48 degrees? This is opposite. Where is the 10? Because we can't have 2 variables, so we have to use the 10. 10 is the hypotenuse. So opposite and hypotenuse, that's sine. So we know we're going to use the sine here. It's going to be sine of 48 degrees equals, now, opposite, which is A, over the hypotenuse, which is 10. Okay? So now we need to solve for A. So how do we bring 10 to the other side? Well, since this is division, we're going to multiply. So A is going to equal 10 times the sine of 48 degrees. So we're going to need to multiply that out. So let's see. What do we get? Let's clear that. And remember, I didn't mention this in the last problem, but if you have not changed your, let me erase this. If you have not changed your calculator to degrees, you need to do that. So on the mode button, make sure the 3rd line down shows degrees. If it doesn't show degrees, we're going to have an error there. Okay. So let's go through and let's evaluate what we had. So here we need to do 10 times the sine of 48 degrees. Hit enter. So in this case, side A is approximately equal to 7.4. Okay? So that's 7.4. Now, we need to find side B. Now, you could use the Pythagorean theorem, but this is a rounded decimal. And it is very bad to take a rounded decimal and then go ahead and square it and then get an answer and round it again. Once you keep rounding an answer, you get less and less precise. So let's not use the 7.4. Let's just go back to the original problem. And where is B compared to 48? This is adjacent. 10 is still the hypotenuse, so adjacent and hypotenuse, this is cosine. So the cosine of 48 equals opposite, which is B, over the hypotenuse, which is 10. So that means B equals 10 times the cosine of 48. So we can plug that in the calculator. So we want 10 times the cosine of 48. And that comes out to B being approximately equal to 6.7. Okay? So angle A was 42, side B 7.4, side B 6.7. Okay. We're going to do one last problem, but on the last problem here, we are not going to solve the whole thing. I'm only going to solve for for one side. So let me draw this out real quick. Here's A, B, C. Here's the right angle. They give you A is 12 degrees. They give you side B here is 18. And the only side I want to find on this one is C. The rest of it is pretty much similar. Obviously, you can find angle B very quickly, 180 degrees. So let's just find C. So C we know is the hypotenuse, and 18 looks like it's adjacent. So hypotenuse and adjacent, that's cosine. So this is the cosine of 12 equals adjacent, which is 18, over the hypotenuse, which is C. Now here, this is different from the previous example, because here we had our variable in the numerator of our fraction. Here, our variable's in our denominator. So we need to be able to get that out of the denominator there. You can't just multiply these two together. Okay? So we're going to use the quick way of solving a proportion here. We know on a proportion, if you think of this as over 1, you can do the two numbers that are diagonal, multiply those two together, divide by the last one. So C is going to equal 1 times 18, which is 18 divided by cosine of 12. And another way of thinking about that is these two values just get flip-flopped. Okay, so if your variable's in the denominator, just interchange these, you get 18 divided by cosine of 12. So C will be approximately equal to, let's clear that out. So what do we have? We had 18 divided by cosine of 12. So C is approximately 18.4. Okay? So, if your variable's in the denominator, when you're looking for a side, you're going to divide the numerator by the cosine of 12, cosine of your value. If your variable's in the numerator, you just multiply your sine and your cosine. Okay?